If you're wondering what happened to my fingers, it's because there's a guy who has a fetish for snapping fingers running around. His name is Pete Dunne. Buy your local and pitchfork torches here. Okay, everyone, so we're talking about Vengeance Day's matchup main event between the Prince, Finn Balor, and the Bruiserweight finger snapper, Pete Dunne. And they had a very basic story. Pete Dunne comes out, wants to challenge Finn Balor. They go at it for a couple of weeks, fighting each other in the ring and outside the ring. They go ahead, have a basic story. Then they add the third wheel, the most unnecessary wheel of them all. Edge comes out because Vince needs something to kill AEW with because NXT clearly isn't going to do it anymore since, well, Vince wanted to change the formula up. Thanks, Vince. And Edge had come out beforehand, and he spoke about how seeing the drive, the passion, and the focus on wrestling in NXT helped motivate him to make his comeback. Aww. What a nice way to say that that's not true, Vince. But thanks for trying to make me convinced that this could work. He said he never held the NXT Championship. I mean, there was no NXT Championship when he was around, so yeah. And told Balor and Dunne that he would be watching their event match closely. Yeah, regardless of who won, it may help him decide which world championship he would challenge at WrestleMania. So yeah, with that promo alone, the Edge had to come out and completely certify that the NXT Championship is in fact a world title. So I'm pretty sure Vince is like, oh god, we gotta scrap that, we can't acknowledge NXT as a good product. Even though I want to kill AEW, but my hatred for NXT because it's not my product is clearly a problem. I have to choose my hatred for American audience wrestling enjoyment or my hatred for another promotion for having the doll to exist. Also, this is being represented by, let's see, what's the main event like, damn it? Oh, it's Filthy Foreigners, okay. America must prevail! Because I'm pretty sure Vince hated the fact that he had his main event match be represented by someone from Ireland and someone being represented from Wales of England. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vince is probably going to be like, I have no Americans. There are no Americans representing this country. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is multiculturalism and multi-professional wrestling. So, Pete Dunne and Finn Balor are going to have their big matchup at Vengeance. Yeah, they call it Vengeance Day because it's on Valentine's Day, the world where we have to be reminded that we're all single and probably going to be horribly tortured. And the fact that other people are getting dates. But I have completely moved on from my desires of intimacy because the world kind of sucks these days and I get paranoid. Anyways, moving on. So, yeah, I can't help myself. So, yeah, this was a big main event. Like the only match that had surpassed it that nearly surpassed it in time was Gargano versus Kushida. Because, okay, so some people were talking about that match. Some people felt like they were trying to get Dave Meltzer's attention. I mean, like, maybe I haven't seen the match myself. I'll probably make a video about that. But, like, yeah. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE was like, notice that's Meltzer, give them a 5-star. You see, we got Gargano, we got a Japanese guy in there. That clearly makes up for a 5-star rating. I mean, like, it's not the Tokyo Dome, but it's not AEW, but it's a Capital Wrestling Center. So clearly, it means we're trying. Notice me. But yeah, let's get back to the match. I've given you the pre-show 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So, yeah. The main event. Oh my god, this was technical wrestling at its finest. Now, I was enjoying this rather change in the direction. When it says they go at it, fisticuffs all ringing. From what I've seen, here's the thing. I have not been watching NXT as much as I used to because it does feel like something's changed with it. Its fundamental nature has been completely altered because, I mean, like, I know they won't directly say, but let's be real, NXT has AEW in their head a little bit too much. But yeah, but everyone was praising this takeover and saying it felt like the old NXT. Yeah, notice how people now have to differentiate when they say the old NXT. You got old NXT OG, which was the reality TV show that no one likes to talk about, and what's one of the hindrances of their gaining good rating these days, because people remember, because mainstream audiences are more aware of the reality TV show NXT than they were of the WWE Network exclusive NXT. And now you got the other NXT OG where they say, oh, it's like the old NXT. Oh, yeah, that NXT. Wasn't the Nexus in that? Don't you ever speak of that name again! So yeah, that's kind of a conundrum people have to face now when they have to say the old NXT. When you had Finn Balor, Pete Dunne, you had all these other great talents. You had Pac, who was screwed over by Vince big time in favor of Enzo because he made more money. So yeah, but yeah, this was technically sound wrestling in my eyes. These like it's everything you kind of miss seeing in NXT for some people. It's that they go with this technical wrestling aspect and they have this desire to go all out with it, no pun intended. And Finn Balor certainly is rejuvenating. Like, he's in a pretty good place. He gets to make some money. Like, I think he's been reportedly making $130,000 a year. He should be making more, but that's a different matter. He's getting to be himself. He can do whatever he wants in terms of wrestling. And he gets to do it on the favorite brand. Sadly, he had to sacrifice the demon for good. So, thanks, Vince. Pete Dunne, however, had... Here's the thing I was annoyed by the commentary. They keep bringing about how, oh, he's 27, he's so young, he's done so much. Can you mention the big reign where he was clearly better than Lesnar during that time when they kept trying to say Lesnar was the longest reigning champion, even though Pete Dunne was like over there, but because it wasn't a world title, therefore it didn't count. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah. And yeah, and they also Pat McAfee, yeah, he wasn't even involved in this. Apparently he's been removed from the whole equation, so it's just Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Yeah, I've completely forgotten who they are. I kind of still now think now that they really should have went over at War Games, especially what happened at the end of the night. But Pete Dunne and Finn Balor, they were doing this technical wrestling, and I did think they were going to go with the standard main event formula that NXT usually goes to these days, where, oh, you start out slow, try to build things up, and a couple of high spots moments, but then we go really insane, but then they stop and go back to technical wrestling, which was kind of good and refreshing, and they have Pete Dunne acting all crazy and then he gets even further weird when he sees fingers, like, I must break the fingers. Because he's developed a fetish for them. In fact, have you noticed a lot of the wrestlers these days seem to have developed fetishes for breaking fingers? Like, Orton developed a fetish for breaking Ty Dillinger's fingers. That was a thing going on at the time. Then he developed the ear issue with Jeff, which was gross and disturbing. Pete Dunne with his habit of breaking fingers, like, every single second of the day. And yeah, I'm just like, oh god, this is so weird with people these days. But there was one thing I kind of wish they did. I kind of wish they did this with the NXT UK belt. It's something that it's not really a big deal to me, but it's sort of like would have been an interesting turn. But I'll get to that when I can. But Pete Dunne and Finn Balor had worked this match. They were working this match, going all out with it. I loved every second of it. It was 25 minutes of technical wrestling at its finest. People that would make Kurt Angle be like, I remember doing that when I was younger. And you're just wondering to see how far this could go. I thought it was going to get to 30 minutes, honestly, but they went for 25 because they got to keep their 2 hours and 30 minutes scheduling on top. off, and plus they have to do the big surprise at the end. Ultimately, and I was thinking, like, did Finn Balor change his finisher from the coup de grace to the 1619 move when he finishes Pete Dunne with that and retains his title? Finn Balor shows the effects, and they mention how when Kyle O'Reilly busted his jaw back in October, they mentioned, oh, it still affects him. Yep. Yeah. Finn Balor's jaw admitted it still affects him a little bit, how he still has some issues with it, which proves the danger tenacity that is Kyle O'Reilly. And how that led to Pete Dunne having a chance to take a shot at the arm, because now he has a jaw weakness that could affect his entire body, since he needs to protect this over, well, everything else. And yeah, that wasn't going to end well for him. But then it culminates with Finn Balor getting the victory. I loving every moment of it. I loved it. This match was awesome. But then we got the ending. After Finn Balor does the selling of the broken fingers with a version of his shooting fingers, instead he just does this. He gets attacked by Danny Burch and Oney Larkin, and revealing that he got getting his ass handed to him big time. And by them, because he just had 25 minutes of hell to over to him. Then the Undisputed Era, around Bobby Fish, I think he's injured, I could be wrong, came out and saved the day and everything. And Kyle O'Reilly seems to try and give him an offer to join the group. Like, come on, man, come on. Like, it'd be the five of us. We'd be unstoppable. Like, we're buddies, right? We're all independent buddies. And then they do their pose, and Finn Balor's about to raise his fingers up, and then BAM! Adam Cole super kicks Finn Balor, and Kyle O'Reilly's pissed, and he doesn't know what's going on. And then Adam Cole is arguing with him, like, dude, I did not want him in the group, and thus Adam Cole shocks everyone more when he super kicks the hell out of Kyle O'Reilly, while Roderick Strong is like, this is the moment I cry. So yeah, it looks like Undisputed Era just collapsed. We'll be seeing the all out of that. I'm like probably 600,000 or 700,000 might. Everyone else probably will be watching AEW, sadly. Yeah, this is the problem I'm having with this. NXT struggling with the ratings. Like, here's the thing. I think the ratings are much bigger than what the Nelson ratings are doing. That's a completely different topic. I'll probably cover that in an extended cut of something. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And now when I see Pete Dunne, like, Walter is nearly locked in at surpassing Pete Dunne. He's just about 3 or so days away from surpassing his title run, and therefore becoming the longest champion of all time. And I was like, man, it'd be awesome if Pete Dunne, if they did this something unique with the UK title, whereas they have a special match where the previous champion wants to keep their record clean and get their record stated to still stay. Like Tyler Bate was champion for 125 days. He lost it to Pete Dunne. I was thinking like, hey, you know what would be kind of cool? What if during the before the 125th day, about a day or so beforehand, Tyler Bate challenges Pete Dunne in order to take the title from him before he can break his record. And if Pete Dunne beats him, he beats the record. Now I was thinking, like, man, imagine if we did that with Walter, where Walter is closing in on that record. Pete Dunne comes out and is like, no, you're not taking my record. I am simply better than the Beast. Let's go over that. I'm better than Brock Lesnar, everybody. And this leads into a special one-time a second rematch between Walter and Pete Dunne, and just leads to Walter defeating him and breaking the record. That would actually kind of make it a bigger deal than it is at the moment, other than Walter delivering quality top-notch matches and a lot of them getting 5-star reviews from people. So, yeah. This match, but Finn Balor and Pete Dunne, they tore it down. I think they tore it down. I haven't watched Gargano and Kushida's match. I have heard that got a lot bit more praise, but from a technical wrestling perspective, I did enjoy this match a lot. And plus I did want to see Finn Balor fight Pete Dunne 1-on-1 in the ring, and well, since Pete Dunne's a heel, I was a little worried that they might go the WWE route where they have the heels get involved, but no, they got involved at the end after the match was over. So they were commenting like, "Oh, Pete Dunne can beat him. He's got him right where he wants him." And I love the moment where Pete Dunne's out and he's still latching onto the fingers, is like, "I will not give up my finger fetishes." Ah! And he's just snapping their fingers. He just does it so well with the snapping of fingers, and he's kind of in love with that. But like, oh man, Ty Dillinger would have not survived Pete Dunne if he fought him. But yeah, and then Undisputed Era looked like it's collapsing from within, which means we gotta get a Being the Elite episode where the Young Bucks go ahead and say, "Adam turned heel." Adam. Like, so, I was like, some people commented about this on Twitter, and I said, "Oh, imagine if they do a backstage moment with Bobby Fish and the rest of the Undisputed Era besides Adam Cole, and Bobby Fish is going all nonchalant, like he doesn't know what's going on, and then he's like." Then Kyle O'Reilly just has an ice pack on his head because even though he got kicked to the chest, the guy get the idea that he was kicked to the head, and then Roderick Strong's like, "Did you even watch NXT Takeover?" "No, I was hurt." "Oh, what happened?" Adam turned his back on us. Adam! Trying to, make up for the lack of overselling that Kyle O'Reilly usually does for us. But, yeah. Yeah. This match was fun, and the aftermath certainly is intriguing. But yeah, the one things I was hearing about this turn from Adam Cole was the fact that Vince wanted to call him up sooner, but Triple H was so adamant, like, "No, we can't just call him up. He needs to have a great send-off. He needs to be having an end storyline for this. He needs to be written out the right way to build him up, to get him on the main roster, get his demotion ready and all that." And Vince just wanted Adam Cole to go up. He didn't want the rest of the Undisputed Era because, fuck factions and all that, right? And F Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. I'm like, you got two tag teams, and you got one who could be a great upper mid card star who could be world champion material. I don't know. We clearly just want Adam Cole, baby, because reasons. Because he impressed me. Because he kicked Daniel Bryan's ass and everything. And I don't like them indie wrestlers, even though I just want to push this indie wrestler. Roman Reigns. But yeah, it's confusing. So looks like we're gonna probably get Adam Cole, baby, taking on Kyle O'Reilly, since it looks like Kyle O'Reilly's getting this bigger push now in NXT, and Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish are probably gonna be like, "Please, Mom, Dad, please stop fighting, Dad, you're tearing us apart," and whatnot, because they have done over the top antics, like they're trying to be the Elite. But, WWE wants to make it like that. Like, that weird time when Kyle O'Reilly was dressed as a therapist. Yeah, that was a weird time when Roderick Strong was being stalked by Dexter Lumis. Yeah, that was weird. So, yeah. Yeah, you should check this match out if you have it on the network. And for those who live in rural areas, I'm sorry you have to now watch this quality content because WWE wants to put a paywall essentially up on us. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe. This was Near Reality presenting the WrestleVerse of Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my content in the description below. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you all next time. Peace and boom!